Welcome to the Carousel, where we discuss video games, movies, sometimes comic books, and whatever awful things those conversations lead to. I am John MusiM. With me I have Randy.
Hello.
And I have Jake.
I have great news, guys. Our nightmare is over. Our long global nightmare is over. The ESRB has stepped in. They're going to save us from loot boxes. Everything's fixed. It's fine. There's going to be a tag on the box to warn you that this might have something you can pay for.
Well, I mean, that's already been trumped.
Wow.
You get it? Because Trump wants to meet with a bunch of video game execs now because he thinks video games
that fucking shit.
were responsible for the shooters.
Oh, right.
I thought you were going to talk about steel tariffs.
Steel tariffs?
Yeah.
See, it's a fucking... 3 more things have happened since we went live.
It doesn't matter. You're coming to us to not hear about this shit, so...
The ESRB is in sort of Giant Bomb ate our lunch a little bit on this, but the ESRB is now going to warn parents. You know, they don't want to warn us specifically about loot boxes because parents won't understand what those are. So we're just going to put a tag on the front of anything that has any content that you can pay real money for.
Like any mail?
Like DLC, like costumes, like paid currency for Madden, like actual loot boxes. They're just putting a sticker on everything that, look out, you can pay money on this game, which is going to do fucking nothing.
I thought you were talking about like loot crates and stuff like that they actually mail to your house.
I mean, I don't think they have any jurisdiction over those.
That's why I was like, whoa, they're reaching.
they're going to Think Geek and actually like standing outside the door putting stickers on all the boxes that go out the door. Yeah.
I mean, let's be frank. Like, the ESRB doesn't actually have jurisdiction over anything. They just have a bunch of corporations who kind of agree to go along with them.
Yeah, it's not the ESRB is not like a government thing.
Yeah.
Well,
neither's the MPA.
ESRB is the corporations.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like,
well, I'm just saying, like, you have Best Buy agreeing to go along with the video games people's decision to, okay, we shouldn't sell this mature title to 18-year-olds. So, you look 18, young 12-year-old, here's your copy of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Some Dennis
Whatever,
the
Mom and
Menace
Dad don't know, so
motherfucker.
they'll just buy it for him.
That's true.
Slingshot hanging out of his back pocket.
That's the stupidest thing. I don't know how many times... Anytime you're on COD, to bring up something we'll talk about later, like, you always hear, there's got to be 6 and 7-year-olds that are playing that game.
Like, they have to operate the controller with, like, 2 hands. They have to set it on the coffee table and actually, like, palm each joystick.
That's probably why they're so good at it.
Yeah, it's like Flight of the Navigator. Anyway...
Good reference.
Speaking of magical flying ships, John, take it away.
Yeah, me and Jake went and saw Black Panther together at completely different theaters in completely different cities on completely different days. So, I think you're more positive on the movie from talking to you earlier about it. Like, I still like it. I still think it's a really good movie. But I was kind of going in expecting the second coming of Christ, and I didn't see the second coming of Christ.
Well, the hype train was about 100 cars long and right outside Jake's apartment.
But like overall, like it still is like even just like our pre-talk before the show was kind of reminding me like all the fun and cool stuff in it. Like I've been kind of just nonstop listening to like hardcore like political takes on it, and it's all, you know, like when you get into like to listening to hardcore movie critics, almost the entirety of what they have to say about the movie is how well the movie delivers on its like allegory or metaphor that it's going for politically, or what it's trying to say. So it was kind of, I've just been listening to hours of people nitpick like how Black Panther approaches and discusses colonialism and the CIA and things like that, and it's a little maddening, to be honest with you. But
what, to read those hot takes?
Well, I listened to them. I don't got time to read. I listen to podcasts at work.
Well, whichever.
But I mean, there's still like it's still interesting to listen to. It's still I like hearing those viewpoints. Like whether I agree or not, I like hearing them. But like overall, I mean, Black Panther is a good superhero movie.
So I was asking a buddy of mine who's real into Marvel stuff. So Black Panther gets he gets this new suit. His sister builds him this new suit in the movie, and it's like a reactive kinetic storage thing, like a la Gambit. Is that canon, or did they make that up for the movie so it could look cool?
What? I'm sorry. I just saw where you said I was into butts in our Discord, and didn't hear a word you just told me just now.
That wasn't me. I said in the Discord that you were going to be reviewing porn tonight because you mistyped and put Black Panther. So in the movie, he's got this suit that his sister made for him, where if he gets like shot with a cannonball,
Oh,
the
right, the
suit
connect
absorbs
thing.
everything, and then he can punch something into space. Is that canon, or is that just a gimmick they made up for the movie?
I have no idea.
Like Bishop?
Most of the Black Panther stuff I've read has been crossover stuff, like him and Storm getting divorced and the whole. Or I say it, they didn't even really get fucking divorced.
Like,
that was such a fucking dipshit thing. Like it's the Phoenix thing, right? The Phoenix Force has possessed 5 of the X-Men, and they went evil and killed Professor X, and now Storm it's Avengers versus X-Men. That's right. And so, like during the fight, like Black Panther's like, yeah, we haven't slept together a long time, so I had her shit annulled. So don't worry about it. But
Okay. Well, back to the movie. It's real fucking good. It's super pretty. All the actors are incredible. I had no idea, so I didn't see. God, it wasn't Balboa. It was the new Rocky. What's the most recent Rocky? What's that called?
Creed.
Creed.
You're thinking of Michael B. Jordan.
I had never seen Michael B. Jordan in anything, and he showed up, and he was like, I was like, oh, that's a pretty rad, like, 90s Wayans haircut that this dude's rocking.
How have you ever seen Michael B. Jordan? Like, everyone wants to bone that dude. Like, I'm... like, that was the other thing, like, these podcasts discussed, was how amazing Michael B. Jordan was,
dude,
and how upset they were that he
dude.
died.
Well, let me rephrase. He would fuck me. But that's... he was awesome. Actually, you know what? I lied, because he was the younger kid in the first season of The Wire who had like all his brothers and sisters living with him.
I mean,
he was also in, pretty sure he was in Friday Night Lights, and I know he was in Fruitvale Station. Like, he's been around.
He was the guy he was in Chronicle. Did you guys not see Chronicle?
Chronicle was awesome, yeah.
Yeah. So
Is that the whole title of whatever that is?
Chronicle? Yeah.
It's Chronicle. It's like a found footage superhero movie.
It's it's kind of a found footage Akira superhero thing. It's actually really good.
I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, you should go see it. You should go rent it. It is worth your time. Like, Chronicle was something that sounded terrible. I hate found footage shit. I hate shaky cam shit. This was actually really good.
Anyway,
so he was great in this. The dude who plays T'Challa, and I don't remember anyone's actual name ever for anything, so I'm just going to refer to the person who played blank. The dude who played T'Challa was awesome, but we knew that. He was awesome in Civil War. His general, the dude from Get Out, John, you're going to remind me of that actor's name any second now?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
You're on your own there, because even if I look it up, I know I can't pronounce it. I'm pretty sure he has a funky first or last name. I don't remember. But
funky.
Angela
his name is, we'll call him Daniel K. His last name starts with a K.
She was awesome. The sister was actually, if you remember the most recent episode of Black Mirror, the Black Museum, she was the girl who went into the Black Museum.
Right. Well,
which
and
it looks like she's aged like 7 years in between.
And you know,
now.
something cool I found out about the cast is the opening scene it kind of takes place back in the 90s, and you have T'Chaka, T'Challa's father, in the Black Panther suit as a young man, like doing a scene, right? The guy they got to play young T'Chaka is actually the son of the actor who played T'Chaka. Which I thought was fucking awesome. Like, I love it when they do shit like that. You know, like fucking Ice Cube's kid playing him. Ice Cube's kid playing him in whatever that movie was about Ice Cube. I'm tired. NWA, not NWA.
NCIS.
What's the movie? What's their album called? Something about Compton. Straight out of Compton. There, I got
NWA.
that. NWA. What did I say? NWO.
That was the name of the movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, no, I liked all the cast in this. This is definitely
It had Michonne from Walking Dead. She was awesome. Like everybody. Oh, and there were so many badass women in this movie. Like that whole thing in not it was South Korea, I think, or Philippines, or where did they go in Asia? I forget.
They went to South Korea.
They went to Seoul. Yeah.
That whole thing was awesome. Like it's so easy to forget about that sort of middle piece because they spend so much time in Wakanda. Which, by the way, those fucking savannah shots are gorgeous.
You see, I disagree that it's hard to forget about the middle part because I thought the movie was really boring until it got to the middle part. Like, you got this really good action scene with Michael B. Jordan and fucking Claw at the beginning, and then it gets super boring for a while, and then it goes to that scene in Seoul, which is really fucking cool. I could have used a whole movie actually, just even out of that section of the movie. But like you don't actually
one shot, right?
Yeah,
Like a la Tarantino,
or at least seemed to do like one shot.
Okay.
Like
There's
when
a
he
big
did
scene in Avengers 2 in Seoul.
when he did Creed, when Ryan Coogler directed Creed, there's a boxing match in the middle. That's all one shot. That is actually better than what Black Panther had. But like I was really happy to see that he got to do some of his chops there. But like for me, like I didn't think the plot actually kicked in till after Soul. Like you're halfway through like it was almost Dragon Age 2 to me in that respect. In that, okay, like this is cool. I'm enjoying these characters. I'm enjoying this world. I'm enjoying what you're spinning, but there's no plot here. And then for me, the plot came in after that, which was really when you kicked off with Michael B. Jordan's character and the whole Wakanda storyline. But
yeah, that's it. It was very cool. I kind of wish I had seen it. Like I kind of wish I'd gone down to the city to watch it, like where the theater might have had more black folks in it. Because as is, I went. I mean, the place I went to see it was basically the whitest place in Illinois. But I just so happened
The whitest place in the whitest state.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Well, I don't know.
If you take
Alaska's-
if you don't count Chicago.
Yeah. But I just saw it, like, it was all assigned seating, and we sat down and we're, watching the 45 minutes of commercials. And this super pregnant black lady and her husband sit down right next to me, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to get to, just get to, like, hear her reaction. Like, I don't know what her background is or whatever, but, like, I'm going to be next to a black person watching this. Cool. Like, that's, yeah. And
Did you
through
try to pound her fist?
No. But throughout the movie, I hear her, like, I can hear her kind of fighting herself because she's going, there's a lot of whiteies all over this place, so I got to kind of tamp it down. But I just hear her going, like, hell no. And just, kind of mumbling to herself at all the good parts. And I was like, it just made me smile. So it made me want to be in a theater with more black folks, like, and kind of get, like, their enthusiasm, because black folks seem super jazzed about this, and I'm so happy for them.
I mean,
it's really
it's a big deal. I think having a major blockbuster with an all-star, nearly all-black cast, and like your two white characters kind of don't matter in the movie. I mean, like I can't imagine. And I mean that in a literal sense. I'm incapable of imagining, like, living a life growing up and never being able to see that in the first place and identify with that when, like, race is such a prominent and constant subject in America,
Well, and it's just super cool, and I hope more stuff like this comes out, because it's done super well, to boot.
Well, I mean, is this getting the trilogy treatment like everything else?
I don't know about that. I think it's just sort of being woven in. Because
well, I mean, if it makes $1 billion or whatever, you can bet your ass they'll make another one.
It looks like the new Avengers is going to be, at least partly in Wakanda. And I've heard arguments that the Soul Gem for the the Infinity Gauntlet, that the Soul Gem is like buried in all the vibranium, like in their vibranium mountain. I don't know that I'm convinced by that argument, but they spend time in Wakanda, so I mean they're definitely going back there.
Yeah, I think as revolutionary as this movie is to a degree, like especially for I think black culture. I think everyone's going to be severely disappointed by everything else Black Panther does, like, because it's going to be, you know, everyone's going to be disappointed by Infinity War, I think, on that end, because, you know, he's going to be a major player as much as 50 other characters are going to be major players in it. And then, like, you're not going to get a sequel to his movie till years later, and what are the chances that he gets to just have his sequel in Wakanda without any of the other Avengers or any of the other Marvel characters they've introduced up to that point in it?
Probably pretty good.
No, you haven't seen it, Randy. The chances of that are nearly zero because of the way this movie ends.
Well, no, that particular scene will be entirely Infinity War, right? Like, that's their little nod to that. I mean, and that thing will happen. I'm just saying, like, almost.
You mean like the end credits scene, or like how it actually ends?
Just an after credits scene.
That's what I meant. Yeah, the after one where he's making a speech.
You see, I wasn't even talking about the speech one. I thought you were talking about the other one. I don't know. I'm not saying
where T'Challa and Doctor Strange are hanging out, and Doctor Strange keeps summoning steins of beer for T'Challa to drink. That one.
Yes, but
another punk.
no, that's not what happens. But yeah, no. I'm saying this because this is Marvel, and because solo outings are practically non-existent. The last Thor movie we had Hulk and Doctor Strange in it. You know, like, we aren't going to get these. I mean, I think that the current Marvel formula, that, for lack of a better term, I hate using that because I don't think they're as formulaic as people say. I think movies themselves are just formulaic, and I think Marvel's making it a little bit obvious that most movies are either esoteric as fuck or using a similar formula.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah. What were you going to say, Randy?
I was just going to say, like, the whole Marvel thing, the MCU that they're doing, I mean, that's like an unstoppable train. You know what I mean? There's there's so much momentum, you can't really, it doesn't seem like you can make adjustments on the fly, and like if a Black Panther sequel is not already in the works, that's going to be hard to squeeze in.
Well, and it's like with Infinity War, there's no way that movie doesn't make $2 billion, right? I mean,
each.
And there's no way that almost every, like, after Infinity War comes out, you're going to get like 2 reviews that come out of it. One is going to be that Infinity War doesn't disappoint, and the other is going to be, why couldn't we just have a Black Panther sequel?
Well, if they can pull off Infinity War, I think it's going to be just an amazing, if nothing else, an amazing technical achievement.
They're going to pull it off.
In cinema, you know what I mean? Just because of everything that went into building that. Because if you just put out Infinity War, everybody's like, who the fuck are all these people?
Yeah.
You know?
I think they're going to pull it off, but I think, like, you're going to have, like, I think if anyone can go into it critically minded without, like, the hype and with just looking at it practically, I think they're going to find a movie that does not work by any means on its own and is incredibly scattered because of the amount of characters it has to pay tribute to. But I still think it's going to be
a few clunkers in the MCU, right? Like, I didn't particularly care for Age of Ultron. I thought that was a bit slapped together, you know. That didn't. It had some good bits, but as a overall product, I didn't think it was great.
I liked it.
There were funny bits, and there were some good action scenes, but that's what it was, right? It was a somewhat sequential selection of those.
I like the, like, well, okay, I don't want to get into a big debate on it, but, like, I don't think it's the best Marvel movie by any means. But you know what? I like it better than Iron Man 2.
See, that's my favorite Iron Man.
Iron Man 2?
The second one, yeah.
Oh, God, I can't stand watching it when him and Rhodey gets in a fight. Like, that is the stupidest, like, campiest scene in the movie. And, like, that scene could have, like gravitas and emotional meaning, but no, they just wanted... Like, and also another thing that bothers me is one of the green screen actors, like, whenever they float up, he, like, does this weird thing with his legs where he kind of, like, pushes his legs close together and moves them back and forth, and it just makes me think of, like, some nervous skinny kid, which does not represent either of the characters to me, and it really bothers me for some reason on a really deep level.
I feel like we've kind of gone off the rails here, guys.
We have. We gotta
So
get
we're
Black
going
Panther.
to wrap it up on Black Panther, and go into the internet's current darling, which is Into the Breach. John, it seems like you're doing better with this game than I am. So I want to hear you talk about it, because I kind of don't get what I'm supposed to be doing, and I think you have a concept of how to play this game.
So I took some notes on my first playthrough thing. So quick recap if you've somehow not listened to any other podcasts on the internet. Into the Breach is a game by the FTL makers. It's a grid-based mech combat against this race of bugs called the Vec. So you'll have challenges and maps and things. And a big part of the goal is moving things around and surviving long enough to complete the map, because each map is typically limited to a certain amount of turns. So my first mission on Into the Breach, you are time travelers who are going back to try to stop the Vec from taking over the world. So I go through the simulation mission. I complete that just fine, super easy, right? I have my mech, I have my tank, and then I have this other mech that's kind of an artillery launcher. And then
The first mech you mentioned is real punchy.
Yeah. Like his shtick is he punches someone and knocks them to the next square. And like you can upgrade him to where he can, I guess, do a dash and then punch someone, so he can I don't actually know the mechanics of it because I haven't unlocked it.
It does push them back. It works like the artillery, where so long as you have a straight, unobstructed line to a target, he can just dash across the whole map if he wants.
Gotcha.
And then he punches them in the mush, and they go back to space.
Yeah, part of me suspects you've actually played more of this than I have, Jake, because I pretty much beat the first island, and then I went into the next fight on the second island, got my ass kicked, went back in time, started over.
Yep. That's what happens.
So, like, all the islands are owned by corporations, so you'll go to an island and then the CEO give you kind of a speech type thing where they tell you what's going on, and then you go in and have to do it. But what I wrote in my notes here is my first real mission. I had one mech land on fire, another in a web trap adjacent to a Vec. Like, there are certain Vecs where if they move next to you, they'll trap you in webs, so you have to deal with them before you can move. And then basically like this is kind of the end scenario. So I have a mech on fire, I have a mech trapped, I have my tank, which isn't in a position to move or shoot anything, and like my island health, like your whole island, I say your island, your grid defense, which is the world, has a health bar, and it goes down anytime a building is damaged in one of your battles. So my grid defense is like at 50%. Like, this is the first fucking island. Like, maybe the first mission, and like I'm already gonna have to die and start this over. And then I realized, that there's that turn cap in it. I won, but no, Jake, I think I know what's going on, and that it's a time travel mech game, and it's also by the FTL people, so it's gonna kick your ass.
Okay, so I was hoping you would be able to educate me a little more than you were capable of. So a couple things that I think are worth mentioning. I mean, it's a tactics game. It looks a lot like your old Final Fantasy Tactics or anything like that. It's isometric. It's an 8x8 grid. Some of the spaces have terrain on them, be they mountains or grass. That if the grass gets attacked, it can catch fire, like John was talking about. But the major thing, and the only thing that makes this game even remotely manageable, is the Vec will take their turn, and it'll be like, okay, this guy's targeting this guy's targeting one of my buildings, and here's his sort of line of fire. This guy's an artillery guy, and he's going to target this spot or this building or this tank of mine or whatever. And then your job is to sort of head off their attacks before they actually get a chance to do them.
Right.
And you do that by pushing, by using the punch bot and punching, this guy over a square, so his line of fire that was going to shoot into a building now just goes off the screen. Or, just killing everyone. Or my favorite thing is is when you have dash, which is your pilots all sort of get experience and upgrade themselves, and you do sort of an FTL where you get power sort of spheres that you can assign to your 3 mechs. I think it maxes out at 3, and you can kind of level them up. Those orbs seem few and far between, but when you do upgrade the punch bot to have a dash, dashing across the whole screen and punching a bug into the ocean and just putting him right in the drink is really satisfying. That is super fun.
I do get most of my kills by knocking guys into the water. The upgrade I wound up doing is I upgraded my artillery so that I can, because the artillery, it shoots, it damages whatever you target, and then pushes everything else adjacent to it a square further away. I upgraded it to where if you target one of your buildings, it won't damage your building. So, I'm just constantly pushing motherfuckers out everywhere, and it's great.
That seems good, because the problem, and the thing I keep running into is, and it's procedurally generated, so it's not like you can just master a level and then move on, because it's the guys who made FTL. What do you want? Say that you have a building here, and then to the southeast of that is a bad guy, and then southeast of that is your punch bot, and you punch the bug. You will punch the bug into your building, and even if it kills the bug, it also kills your building, and you lose one of your defense slots. Yeah. And you have to think of those like your hull points in FTL. If all those go away, you die. You have to start over. You have to, restart the timeline. And I have 300 hours in FTL. I paid literally 4 cents for this game because after selling cards from the Steam sale and Christmas gift cards and stuff, I had everything but 4 cents to pay for this.
So close.
I know, it bummed me out. I'm sure Visa is really pissed that they had a 4 cent charge that now they have to pay a transaction fee for.
Mm-hmm.
So I got just a funny aside, last month I was going through my bills and just checking the new amounts and seeing if they'd posted whatever I owed them, and went to my internet provider Cox, and it turns out I shorted them a penny last bill.
Oh no!
And, they didn't give me an over-account charge, but then I made a new transaction for 1 fucking penny.
Good old short Cox MusiM.
Got to bring that shit current.
Just shorting Cox left and right.
Anyway.
So I have some notes from day 1 and I have some notes from day 2. The day 1 notes are not positive. Stuff like in run to run, I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything quite like I did with FTL. I don't really feel like I'm building anything. When you die, you can save a pilot, but it kind of seems like they lose all their skills, even though they're still leveled up. I don't know why I would save them. And even during a run, I kind of don't feel like I'm making progress because I'm not getting enough juice to pump into my guys.
Well,
FTL, you get currency all the time, and here you get maybe 2 things you can upgrade a run.
Yeah, a lot of this game is entirely about positioning. I found a lot of maps you have guys coming in from below the ground, and the best way to deal with that is try and knock guys in the way of that. The other thing I found from listening to podcasts, and I haven't really tested this out, is your pilots can die, and that's fine. And my understanding is you'll just get a new pilot to drive that mech next battle. So it is. Does that not happen?
Yeah, if you have more pilots in the tank, you can dump one in, but if you don't, it just goes on autopilot and loses a big chunk of its efficacy.
Oh, that sucks. That's not good. I was hoping you just had an infinite supply of pilots, and therefore it didn't necessarily matter because, at the end of the day, you need to be fucking making strides to make sure that city doesn't get hit. Because I was. You got to do 4 of these islands, right? And I did 5 missions on the first island before it said, the VEC has consumed the rest of this island, now go back to corporate HQ and save them.
So that's the mechanic. That's basically the way that they gate you from getting all the power-ups on every island. It works the same way as, the Rebel... Or, is it? Yeah, the Rebels chasing you in FTL, so you can't just hit every node.
Yeah. And like when I finished, I think I got 6 reputation, and I wound up buying like 3 of the power cores to upgrade things, and then I bought a what the hell is the other thing I bought? Oh no, and then I spent the other 3 points on just repairing my bar because I was at like 2 health for the world.
So this is cool. If your bar is full, I actually found this out today. If your bar is full, you can keep upgrading it, like keep quote-unquote repairing your life bar, your power bar, and it will give your resistance up to 25%. So that's actually a really cool feature that, like, what's cool about this is you don't have your XCOM, like, you can be point blank in front of a guy, 99% to hit, and he just, shotguns over his shoulder. This is, if you target something, you hit that thing.
Yeah.
But what's cool is your city has, like, a defense percentage that I think starts at, like, 14 or 15%, where you have that much of a chance to where when one of these bugs hits one of your buildings, which would take a point off your life bar, it might just resist that. And that's an awesome feeling when it's just like your building just took 2 shots and it's like, fuck y'all.
Well, and like the first couple times my buildings got hit, like they didn't get destroyed. So I just thought that was okay, I guess they can get hit a couple times, and that is incorrect.
No.
Very incorrect.
You rolled the 20 both those times.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I like the game. I wish I had it on something other than PC, though, because it's a really cool style and really cool music. Like it's a cool visual style, and it's, man, it has its fucking mood down. It is everything sci-fi that but at the same time, it feels like such a great game that I would rather just pick up, play a match real quick, put it back in my pocket, kind of thing,
Yeah, I find myself Alt F4ing it quite a bit, just because some of the randomness, like kaiju tactics. It's a cool concept. I don't like either of those things, but it's working for me. It's good, but
you hate kaiju and tactics.
I don't like either of those things. They can both fuck off. Just some of the randomness is kind of bullshit. Like it feels great when a plan comes together, but it's so easy to get hamstrung on turn 1 when like you put your dudes down, to say like, well, here's your starting bugs, and here's the area where you can set down your mechs, and you set them down, and then the bugs move, and you can't do shit with half your dudes because they're either blocked off or they were just placed wrong because you had no idea what was going to happen, and it bugs me. Get it? Because it splits the middle between being this predictive chess game or just this Binding of Isaac roguelike, just you're going to lose, keep playing. And it bugs me that it splits the middle. I wish they would go all in on that. So like maybe that first turn, the bugs, I don't know. I'm not a game designer. I don't know how to handle that, but the randomness of that first turn bugs me.
Well, and I noticed, too, after I sent my guy back in time, because that last mission I did was just, wow, all of my guys but one are dead, I better just quit. And, like, oh, fuck, don't do this to me, brain. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, there's an easy mode. And I remember on FTL, the only way I got anywhere in that fucking game was easy mode, but I've never gotten to the end boss on FTL, so, like...
You're good.
It doesn't sound fun. Like hearing all the podcasts talk about it, those
rebels are some real fuckwads. Let me tell you.
But like I feel like this is my jam. Like this is a nice little slice of a really good designed tactics RPG. It's no front mission or anything like that, but that's a completely different style of tactics. I really like.
Tactics RPG is a little disingenuous. There's very, very light RPG elements. This is a tactics game.
Yeah.
So you haven't unlocked any of the other squads, then
No.
I assume, right?
No. Have you?
The other squad that I got so far is the Blitzkrieg squad, and they seem to be a lot more in like changing positions on the battlefield. So like instead of an artillery like shooting a cannon, my artillery mech now just hucks a giant rock, and that rock you can put that on spots where Vec are going to erupt from the ground, and then they can't get up.
Sounds appealing.
And there's my shooty tank is now, it's got a grappling hook, so he can pull dudes around. And my punch bot now has an electric whip, where every attack chains to every adjacent either monster or mech or building, and it's real tough. But I'm getting to the point where I'm happy I purchased this game for 4 cents.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I paid $3 for mine. I mean, I didn't pay $3. I paid $15, but I had a bunch of PayPal money I forgot about, and by a bunch I mean $12.
$12. Yep.
But
So
I really
we'll
like
end
the
up
moving
going back to
around. I'm gonna keep playing it too. And I like the kaiju thing, or the Blitzkrieg mech thing sounds fun too. But yeah, I guess I don't have any final thoughts on it.
I think it's going to be my Dota 2 for this year, which is, I put on something on Netflix on the other screen and sort of maybe mostly mute this and just kind of play this and kind of. I think I might need to think about it too much for that to actually work, but we'll see how that goes. Speaking of streaming stuff, I finally gave a chance to something that Amazon has been trying to cram down my throat with their bullshit advertisements that they put in front of every single video you try to watch on the service that you're paying for. You know the ones I'm talking about where they say, oh, you want to watch The Sopranos because we told you that's part of Prime that you give us money for every year. Well, let's give you a bunch of commercials for our other shit that you just have to X out of and then restart the thing and whatever. I finally gave Sneaky Pete a chance. It's really fucking good, guys. You should watch Sneaky Pete.
I've never even heard of Sneaky Pete.
I've never heard of it either.
It is an Amazon original, if that's what they're calling them.
Yeah, we got that much.
The Prime product, I don't know. Whatever they're calling them. It's got, shit, I forget his name. It's Giovanni Ribisi, isn't it? He was in, he was the shitheel corporate guy in Avatar, is probably where you know him from. I think he was also in Saving Private Ryan. I think.
Maybe. He was in Friends. For a few episodes. Anyway.
He's sort of the main guy. And he is a con man who was put into prison, not quite for what you'd expect. Basically, he screwed over a mob boss and kind of got himself arrested to get away from this mob boss. And he's about to... His time's almost up, and he's going to get released. And he finds out that this boss is still on his ass. So his cellmate is named Pete, and this guy's a talker. And, for the 3 or 4 years or however long he's been in prison, this Pete fellow has been telling this guy all about his life, and everyone, is back to when he was a kid and everything. So when he gets out of prison, he assumes Pete's identity to get away from the mob boss and goes and pretends like he goes to like his long lost aunt and uncle's house in like upstate New York and acts like he's Pete because he's con man and Pete has told him all about his life this whole time. So because his family
he's pulling a Don Draper.
Kinda, yeah. Except he's way smoother at it because he's not as handsome, so he has to be. But it's so they're bail bondsmen, like their family business is bail bonds. So he becomes kind of a bail bondsman. So he's interacting with like the criminal element, and like some of these guys might recognize him and know who he really is because his name's like Marius, I think. But the writing is really clever. Bryan Cranston is one of the creators, and he's actually the mob boss, and he shows up later. There's some really cool like rounders type like poker cheat kind of stuff that comes into play later, and like sort of heisty stuff. It's really, really good. It's quick. I think it's 6 or 8 episodes. The new season's coming out on March 9th. So, take some time this weekend, at least watch a couple episodes and see if it's up your alley. I watched probably 5 or 10 minutes of it the first time I started it. And I was tired and had to go to bed or just, got up and had to do something. I didn't give it the chance it deserved, and I should have. So give it a chance. It's good. So speaking of cons, tell us about some CODs. You got a COD piece coming up, Randy?
Yeah, I sort of on a whim, I just went and picked up COD World War II, which you may already know is the latest one. They went back. That's how Call of Duty started, for all you youngins out there that don't know. It started in World War II, and this marks their return. If you like COD, you'll like this one. If COD style shooting is not for you, you won't like it, because I mean, you're getting the brand. It's totally Call of Duty, 100%. It was like the last one I really played heavily was Modern Warfare 3, and it was kind of like sliding into an old pair of slacks. Like it fit right away. Yep. I mean,
have you been mostly doing multiplayer, single player? How's the campaign?
I've been going through the campaign. Again, it's just a very standard story-driven COD campaign. You follow a soldier, an American soldier, of course. Are
they still doing the so long as you don't cross this trigger point, there are infinite dudes that spawn? Are they still doing that?
Maybe. I haven't pushed it like that. Because I sort of learned that from the previous CODs. I was like, you got to get, you have to hit the checkpoint, or else you'll just shoot dudes forever.
Did you play Infinite
Warfare? Just how I play it. I did not.
Okay.
Like I said, the last one I played a lot was 3, Modern Warfare 3, and that's 7 years ago now. But it felt very similar, and it all kind of it came back. What am I trying to say? It stood in stark contrast to the shooter I was playing most previous to this, which was Titanfall, which is so. You're running on walls and you're coming from every angle, and COD gameplay is almost two-dimensional in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people aren't, keep your eyes on the ground. People aren't going to be, coming at you from 30 feet up in the air or anything. And it's really, it's mostly, the way to get good at COD is to learn the maps and get your reflexes up. That's how you win COD. So I'm struggling now because I haven't quite learned all the maps yet, but once you learn those maps, man, that's when the game opens up for you. So I don't know.
So are you still? Clearly you're not an every year type guy because you've skipped a couple here, but you're a big FPS fan. Is Call of Duty even big on your radar anymore? Because I feel like I don't hear people talking about it really that much anymore.
No, not really, and I'll be honest, the only reason I even considered buying this one is because they went back to World War II.
Okay.
And I just wanted that flavor. And that's what it is, man. It's COD with World War II flavor. You're kind of getting what you pay for.
It tastes like blood and dust.
It's like if you bought Madden 12 and then you didn't buy another one, and then you bought Madden 18, and you'd be like, oh, okay.
Oh, it's just gun Madden.
Well, they're both EA, right? It's a brand.
No, they're not.
They're Activision.
No, they're not both Activision.
No,
I'm sorry.
Activision. Madden is EA, right? And Activision puts out COD.
Yeah.
Are you sure EA doesn't put out COD?
Yes. EA puts out Battlefield.
They put out Titanfall.
Because Battlefield's always fucked when it launches. They've never had a not fucked. It's always fucked in some way.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess Star Wars Battlefield this year it was loot boxes, but regular Battlefield.
I was gonna say, yeah, you can be forgiven for thinking they're the same company since they both have loot crates out the ass.
I think
loot boxes.
At this point, I figured EA just owned everybody.
I think Battlefield 1 is the only one that they didn't get shit on, but I don't know. I really liked the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare I played, but I guess I'm in the minority on that, and I also never touched the multiplayer on it, so.
And even Infinite Warfare was a while ago, right?
That's last year.
2 years last year?
Or I'm sorry, right? It's 2018. That was 2016.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's. I don't know. I've said it probably 2 or 3 times, but it's COD. If you want more COD, you can buy it. If you don't like COD, don't buy it.
Call of Duty.
I do like a good COD and chips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that time of year. It's Lent.
There used to be a really great place right by your house, and it's closed now. For fish and chips.
You should have gone there more often.
I know.
I
That's on
had
you, Randy.
good fish and chips somewhere recently. It was it was okay fish and chips. It was because at 71st and Yale there is a not Arnie's,
British.
not actually I haven't been to the British place in a while. I went there once and it was okay. I know what you're
That's
talking
Colony,
about,
right?
but I'm thinking of the place that's also downtown. That's one of the Irish Scottish pub places.
Oh,
They're basically the same thing. That's fine.
Yeah,
yeah, sure.
it's no
This is,
Kilkenny's. Kilkenny's is the best fish and chips in town.
We're boring everybody with our talk of Tulsa bars.
I'm sorry. Come to Tulsa and eat at Kilkenny's, and then shit out your guts.
Whoa!
But-
Are they a sponsor now, motherfucker? We're not doing ads.
We should,
Let me tell you
they
about
probably-
MeUndies. Jesus
Yeah, they
fucking
probably
Christ.
have a Twitter account. We should at them.
No, we're not fucking doing any of this. Moving on. John, tell us about the tick.
Oh, you want to hear what makes me tick, huh?
Uh-huh.
So, Tick Season 1, Part 2 came out. I really liked it. I didn't really laugh out loud through most of it, but it was really charming in a lot of ways. Like, I think there were a couple moments with the tiny doctor that made me laugh. I guess I just gave away a little joke, whatever.
The visual gags on that are funny because
Yeah.
the doctor is able to. He comes up with this magnificent shrink ray, but his head didn't shrink, and he's got this weird bobblehead thing in some shots, and it's funny.
I really liked the. It's not a laugh out loud show, but it's a cute show, and it's got a lot of good. Hey, that was funny type humor in it. I think.
Like this is gonna sound like a knock. It's probably not, but like this show would almost work as well if you read the script than hearing the lines. Like, and that's not to say that the lines aren't delivered well, but it's just that the jokes are constructed. They're constructed so well that like they read as well as they sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm also enjoying just how, like, everyone seems to be a superhero. But I won't delve into that. It's just a surprising amount of people with powers. I really enjoyed the talking dog. It still bothered me, even if the dog can light things on fire with his mind, that a man punched him at one point. Even if the dog was being a dick. But the guy was being a dick, too. Anyway.
Are we not gonna talk about Danger Boat?
Oh yeah, Alan Tudyk.
Fucking, I love Danger Boat. It's a boat with an AI. God, what's the Punisher dude? The Punisher. I wanna say-
Overkill, isn't it?
Overkill. Yes. He's got some really cool character development in the second half of this season, which I did not see coming. But his Batmobile, so to speak, is Danger Boat that has an AI, and apparently this AI can love, and is also gay. So that's cool, and is also voiced by Alan Tudyk. They
Question.
do some really funny gags with that.
Can a boat AI have gender and therefore be gay?
Right. I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, I haven't. They don't show the bottom of the boat. There might be a boat dick. I don't know.
I mean,
They have some pretty funny scenes with the boat being inappropriate.
It's
in
good.
every sci-fi I watch with AI, like you can tell they're gendered just by their voice and their mannerisms, right?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's-
Alan Tudyk voices it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's the
that's why
assumption.
I'm going with that. But
I know it's just a gag, but still.
Yeah.
it was fun. I liked it. It was so Jackie Earl Healy. I think I got his name right. Is the
What
Terror?
else could it be?
He's the guy who played Rorschach in Watchmen.
Oh yeah.
And
No
Freddy.
shit.
Yes.
Holy
That's what I
fuck,
said.
that dude can act.
He is killing it in the show. But I looked him up, and you can be forgiven for not recognizing him because he looks like a totally different fucking person. Like, he went from looking like, the redheaded kid on whatever sitcom you saw in the 70s to now he looks like Cypher from the first Matrix, and it's been like 3 years.
Huh.
I don't. What I want to know is, does he really play drums? Because they have a lot of scenes where, like the terror,
just-
relieves stress, I guess, by learning to drum this kit, and he really wants to do like the song "Witchcraft" really well. It's that actually entertained me a bunch. I could
And
use some
the
more
whole-
drumming with him.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure. I mean, camera magic, whatever. Maybe it's not, but it really looked like that was him. like behind the kit actually playing the drums. And
I was pretty convinced. Like,
yeah, and it's not super simple stuff. But it's not like crazy fucking Penis Envy 3000 prog rock drummer.
I mean, it's
so like
it's Tom Heavy's swing. Like it's swing is not easy.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's within the realm of someone, even if they're an actor, that if that was their hobby, you could see them getting good enough in their own time to be able to do this on camera, as opposed to like, I don't know, Danny Carey, like having somebody learn a whole bunch of Tool songs.
Oh,
like
yeah.
That's probably outside the scope of your average hobbyist. But yeah, everything was funny about this. There's a lot of good character development. There was some good stuff with Lint. She does some cool stuff. I like how they change her contact out in like every other scene, so her glass eye is different every time.
I didn't even catch that. I'm gonna have to I really like that show. I'm willing to rewatch that season now, just based on you telling me that. Honestly,
and it's easy to do because they're 22-minute episodes. Like you can just fly through them.
Yeah.
I didn't love the stuff with what's his name, Superbius.
Oh, it's
Superman,
H, isn't it? Hype. No,
it's Super something.
Superion.
Superion. Yes,
Like
I think that's right.
Is his name really Superion? Because that's the name of the robot that all the aerial bots form in Transformers. Oh well.
Whatever it is, it's cooler in this than that.
No, that man is not cooler than a bunch of fucking robot jet planes forming a giant robot. Fuck you, Jake.
That is right up your alley.
Fuck you.
It might be cooler, like if they were cats that made a robot, but
no. Oh my. Oh, I see what you're doing there.
It's good. There's some great stuff with Dot. There's a real funny piece where like Overkill and Tick and Arthur are gonna go do some stop the terror shit, and she's like, I'm coming with you, and that's where you expect them to be like, no, you're not. You have to stay home, Dot, and be safe. And they're like, okay, and she like goes to keep fighting them to like go with them, and there's well, I guess we're all going then. Like there's some really good moment to moment pieces. The overall plot is fine. It's there to get you from scene to scene, but it's not the strong point of the show.
I mean, who's coming to the Tick for that anyway? I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's wacky stuff.
I will say though, like it all ties surprisingly well together though for what it is, which I wasn't expecting. Like,
did you notice that when the Terror at the end is flying his giant T plane around, the big weird floating capital T that he flies around? Spoilers: the Tick beats the Terror. So the Tick's punching the shit out of this this, I don't even know what to call it. It's not like a jet. It's a weird like UFO type looking thing, but I guess it's a TFO. And the Terror gets in his like ejection like lifeboat type thing, to shoot out because it's gonna blow up because the Tick beat the shit out of it. You notice it's a small T. That his little like escape pod is shaped like a small T. It made me chuckle. It's a bunch of gags like that. It's good. It's good. So, on to something that's probably unexpected. I was going to talk about Warcraft.
Which one?
Now, John, you probably think I'm going to
talk.
You're probably going to think I'm going to talk about Warcraft 3 because they just released a remastered or like an upscaled thing for it, where it'll run in widescreen and 1080 by 1920, I think, is the resolution.
Honestly, my biggest fear is that you're going to talk about the original Warcraft.
Well, I kind of am, because
like.
I watched that fucking movie last night.
Oh shit! I saw that like a couple of weeks ago.
Where did you watch that from?
So I was gonna rent it because I wanted to see the director whose name I always forget. I wanted to see Moon and I wanted to see Mute, and that reminded me that I never watched Warcraft. So I went to rent it, and it was like I couldn't find it anywhere. It was crazy expensive. But then it was on Amazon for like $6 for a Blu-ray, so I fucking bought it.
Now it's in your house.
And now you can't get rid of it.
I have a Blu-ray, I have a DVD, I have a digital copy. They're all in the box. I keep throwing it out the window, and it keeps coming back in like a fucking boomerang. I don't know.
Yeah, it's those Chicago winds.
No, I think it's just cursed. all joking aside, I fucking love this movie.
Really?
No shit. Is it just like just a fun sort of thing?
No, it's fucking awful. But
Oh.
I played so much World of Warcraft, and I put literally thousands of hours into World of Warcraft. I have put probably 1,000 hours into the RTS. I've probably put, over the course of my life, between 3,500 and 4,000 hours into this series. So this is who you're dealing with here. Do not treat this as an objective
I
opinion.
mean, I saw the movie and I thought it was okay. Like it was a good, 3 out of 5 stars maybe. Like it didn't do a lot for me, but I didn't also remember any of the characters from Warcraft at all, and
You don't strike me as a WoW player either.
nope, never touched it.
Yeah.
I'm so biased, so I can't recognize whether that's even a valid, reasonable score for this movie.
So like, were all these characters actually in the original game, or are they all like WoW characters?
Yeah, were they
Well-
original to the film, or are they actual Warcraft characters?
They're all Warcraft characters, but that's where it gets a little messy. I will say that Legendary Pictures put this out, which made me chuckle because it's like it's an orange drop. Because Legendary. Anyway, this whole thing was fan service, which was all awesome. Like down to the soundtrack. Like when they show Stormwind, it plays the fucking Stormwind music from the game.
Sure.
There's so much good shit. The CGI goes back and forth between uncannily incredible and god awful.
That's strange.
Yeah, it's very weird. Even from like moment to moment, it's weird. But to answer your question, all these characters are canon, but they've kind of blended shit that doesn't belong together. For example, John, do you remember Garona, the orc lady who was very small and kind of skinny and not orcish?
Yeah, the hot orc. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Watch those teeth, though.
she is a half orc, and this movie starts before, like, this movie starts with the orcs opening the dark portal to get to Azeroth. So Garona
How could
is
you be
half human, half orc, and she's there before they've ever met any humans. So I don't know what kind of
there even
shit.
were half orcs in Warcraft. Wrong, I guess.
I think she's the only one. She's the only one I know of. But so that's weird. They do this weird Moses thing with Thrall at the end. There's a lot of stuff they changed. Medivh. Go ahead.
So the Moses thing with Thrall, that actually reminds me of a trailer for that Warcraft game that never came out.
That's exactly what that's leading to, because Thrall was an orc who was raised by humans.
Okay.
So that's why they put him on the river, and he got found by humans because they're... And that's the thing. They're referencing so much cool canon shit that your average person, like, I'm surprised you even knew about that. I think it's Lord of the Clans. I think that's what that was going to be called.
I just remember it was either Warcraft 1 or 2, like I played and beat it to a certain point, and it gave me that trailer or something like that. Or maybe it
That
was
would've
at the
been 2.
beginning of some Diablo game or something I picked up. But I remember that trailer happening, and then I remember that game never coming out, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it was like a Dragon's Lair. Well, because Blizzard just cancels shit if they don't like it, no matter how far along it is. It was going to be like a Dragon's Lair like animation style adventure game, and I guess it just wasn't panning out the way they wanted to, so they shit canned it. So like Medivh is in this. This is supposed to take place. This is the telling of Warcraft 1, and Medivh is in this, which is fine, like, because he totally existed back then. Talking like it's a real place. But like they kill Medivh in this movie, except Medivh is basically the character that ties the entirety of Warcraft 3 together. He's the person who gets the orcs and the humans and the night elves and everybody to work together against the undead, and now he's just fucking gone. I don't know how they were planning to tie that shit together later, but they clearly aren't worried about following the canon completely. And the guy who played Medivh was the wimp dude from the only Punisher movie, only Punisher really at all that matters, the Tom Jane one. He was the sort of nerdy dude with all the facial piercings and stuff. That's that actor. And
I don't remember who Medivh was in the movie, to be honest with you.
Well, I just told you. He was the skinny guy from Punisher.
Jesus Christ. Was he the betrayer magician, or was he
Yes.
like... Okay.
He was not Khadgar, the bumbling idiot.
Okay.
Which that pissed me off because he's supposed to be a badass. But whatever, it's a movie. So I looked him up, and I was like, because I couldn't believe that they cast this guy for that role, because it's a bad casting. And I found out he's married to Laura Prepon, and I was like, all right, well, I guess that's a wash for him. There was some stuff I fanboyed over.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
He was totally miscast in this bad role and looks like an idiot. But he gets to go home and fuck Laura Prepon. So, like, I guess it worked out for him.
Good for him.
So there was some stuff I fanboyed over pretty hard. The intro for the movie is basically the Warcraft 3 trailer / intro, where it's the orc and the human fighting in the field, which is really cool. The subtitles, when like the orcs are speaking, and they're like, the orcs never speak English, but for the movie, like, you just understand them, so it comes out as English. When they're not speaking, like when they're speaking Orcish and it comes out as Orcish, the subtitles on the screen are the same font as the quest font in WoW, which I thought was a really cool, like, hey, the fucking Dark Portal, Stormwind, Ironforge, all the orc camps, like, all that shit looked so good. Like, it looked like the game come to life.
See, something that took me out of the movie a lot was I felt like the orcs kept the kind of cartoony aesthetic of the game, and the humans didn't. And that was really hard for me to deal with.
Was everything CGI, or were the humans real actors?
The humans were real actors.
Yeah, well,
there you go. And that was kind of a bummer, is because the props were so good. They killed it with the props. But, like, I wanted to see...
Props to the props.
Those props get mad props. Those were mad props. But, like, the footmen work in Warcraft 3, because they're these big, doofy, kind of oversized, with a huge shield, like, from their chin to their feet. And, like, you know, it's like 4 feet wide. And here they have the same shields, but they would look doofy, because these guys are like 190 pounds. They're not the 400-pound wide dudes that they would be in, you know, if these Warcraft 3 footmen came to life.
Right.
And John, you're right. It just looks weird having this giant, like, cartoonish, like, true to that series orc fighting this, like, skinny little dude.
Yeah. Like, I just wish they had found a little bit more of a middle ground with the visual appeal. Like, I understand them not wanting to divert from it, but for me, as like not a huge Warcraft fanboy, like it took me out of it a bit.
It should. They fucked up a lot of stuff.
Also, what's
That
with
CGI always can take you out of it.
what's with Howard Stark / the Preacher being king? Like that was a little weird.
Yeah, King Lane is in Warcraft 2 on the throne. He's a much thicker dude, and I thought that was another weird. Like, most of the casting in this movie was not awesome. Even Clancy Brown, they disguised his voice so much that you couldn't tell it was him.
Who the fuck did Clancy Brown play?
Exactly, he was. He was Black Hand.
I'm sure the production of this film had to go to their like second and third choices for just about every role.
Yeah, maybe, but still, if you have Clancy Brown,
Duncan Jones has a name. A lot of actors really liked Moon. Like I think he has some clout with getting who he wants in his movies.
Okay.
Plus,
my
he's David Bowie's son.
Right. Yes. God forbid we go an episode without you mentioning that.
I mean, that's the important part of his existence.
Right. My beef was, you have Clancy Brown, you literally only have him for the voice and like maybe some mocap. Don't distort the shit out of his voice. He's got a fine orc voice by himself. But you know what? I would watch Warcraft 2. I am shockingly glad I own this. I'm not gonna turn around and sell it. Like I'm gonna keep this. Great.
Well, you couldn't. Let's be clear.
I guess that's fair. I mean, really, you can sell something for anything. Like I might be able to get like a muffin for it or something.
You could get a drip beef, maybe.
I mean, there has to be the man for that something first, right?
Yeah.
So that's Warcraft. In other news, maybe they're gonna remaster Warcraft 3, which I don't know how the fuck they're gonna do that and make a Warcraft 4, but people want it to happen. So
that was in development hell for so long, right? When did that finally come out? 13, 14?
When did what come out?
Warcraft, the movie.
Oh, I don't actually know. I think it was probably 15. It hasn't been
Man.
out that long.
That is so far past WoW's prime. Like, they missed the boat, man.
I
Yeah,
I would, but like truthfully, if they went back and remastered and well, let's be honest, on Warcraft 1 remade Warcraft 1 through 3, like I would buy that and play the shit out of that. Like I would love to play through those games again.
Fucking Zug Zug, Dabu.
But I don't
Stop
want
poking
to.
me. Yes.
But like the original Warcraft 1, actually playing that thing verbatim as is, I'm out. It's too
That's
old.
what I'm saying.
It is
Like,
not aged
a lot of
well.
old games, if they're just direct remasters for higher resolutions and stuff, a lot of old games are frustrating as shit interface-wise.
Do you remember how many units you could select at one time in the first Warcraft?
Wasn't it just
4.
like okay?
Oh my god.
4. And I don't think there were control groups, so there were no hotkeys.
Yeah.
4.
I remember there being a lot of issues. I remember there being a lot of issues in the mission where you just get like your handful of guys that you have to walk through the map with.
A
Where those
classic
being
WoW formula. Or
pain in the
Warcraft
ass.
formula.
Ugh.
You know what though? For the time, there was that, and there was Command and Conquer, and this was the good one, if you ask me. At 10 years old, so
I got a buddy who still plays Command and Conquer.
I was just playing Red Alert 3 this week.
I've never played one, so
Well, you should get on EA Access, John. Okay, so that's pretty much everything we got for newish stuff. John, what do we got for gold for March?
well, fine. I won't talk about this.
Gold.
Let's see.
If you ask me, there's one game worth mentioning, but let's go down the list because we got time.
So there's Trials of the Blood Dragon. That's Trials with the Blood Dragon theme. There's Super Hot, which is a game a lot of people like, and I will play someday. There is Brave, the video game for Xbox 360, because you know Disney's known for their tie-in games now. A game,
Like the movie. Okay.
and then Quantum
Six-year-old
Conundrum,
tie-in.
which I don't actually know what it is.
I looked up Quantum Conundrum and didn't. I downloaded Brave today because I want to see how easy it is to get 1,000 gamer score out of it. If I have to put more than 90 minutes into it, I'm going to delete it. But Trials of the Blood Dragon, I had no idea what that was, and then I looked at it today and I was like, oh shit, it's literally Trials and Blood Dragon because they're both Ubisoft properties. So that's downloading. I might actually play that because Trials is fucking awesome. So those are them.
All right.
Check out Microsoft or Xbox.com or whatever for whenever those dates are because they're always super fucked. They're super fucked. PS Plus.
You could just stop talking and let Jake just entertain himself.
Because it's super hot, super fucked. Get it?
Nope.
PS Plus for March. You're getting Bloodborne. Download Bloodborne, sons of bitches.
This is
Get
what
it?
Like
this is why Jake is pushing this whole segment right here.
Get this shit.
It's because Bloodborne is free on PS Plus in March.
I'm super, super excited for everyone who hasn't been able to play it yet. For it seems like the barrier to entry is, if you haven't played a Soulsborne game, the idea of dropping money on one of these things and assuming you're going to hate it, like, nobody's going to do it. So here, you're getting it for free. Try it out. It's a lot more fast-paced than the Dark Souls games. It's got guns. People wanted guns.
Well, is it like a brawler? Turn-based? What is it?
Have you never played?
Yeah, it's
Dark
basically
Souls,
it's an
Demon Souls?
isometric. There's kaiju, and you're a kaiju hunter, but you have a cool Victorian hat. No, it's fucking Dark Souls, but it's faster paced.
You had me at Victorian hat.
Well,
Have you
that-
never
that
really?
piece I didn't like.
Are you seriously not familiar with the Dark Souls games?
No, I've never played a Dark Souls game.
Like you've never seen them played or anything like that?
All I know about them is that they're famously difficult.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, fucking download and play Bloodborne. Do it.
I'm not into
think you
games
get it
that are deliberately hard.
It is
Like-
fucking free, Randy.
Well, okay, lots of things are free. It's free to jump off my roof. All right.
I mean, one might hurt more than the other, but not by much. Seriously, try this fucking game out. It's super cool. It's kind of Lovecraftian. It's Victorian.
All right.
There's werewolves. Try it out. It's fucking free.
I mean, it's hard like an old Nintendo game's hard.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah, like-
impossible. It's pattern memorization.
Like old Mega Man games were just
Yeah.
hard.
I would say Mega Man is way harder than the Souls games.
Oh.
I still can't beat Mega Man 2.
Mega Man was brutal.
Like in elementary school, I could consistently beat Mega Man 2 all the time. I tried playing it as a fucking adult and got to that fucking dragon. I have no fucking clue how that worked. How the fuck do you play that?
It's it's all about memorizing the level. That's
Like
the
seriously,
only way.
as a kid, that was the only Mega Man I could beat. I couldn't beat any of the others.
It's the execution that's so tough with Mega Man. You can remember all you want, but if you can't time it right, and even so, use the quick boomerang on that dragon. You got to hit him like 3 times, and I still can't even get that far because I get to where the scrolling stops and it just chung 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 chung.
I just want to know how the fuck I did it as a kid. Like I couldn't even beat Mega Man 1. I couldn't even get to the boss on Mega Man 1. I could beat like half the guys.
I don't know, dude. And it's not even Twitch skill. It's not even like we're too old. It's just I don't know. We're broken men now, I guess. But anyway, Brady, get Bloodborne. Also, get Ratchet and Clank. That's that remake, remake.
Okay. Ratchet and Clank was like PS1, right?
Mm-hmm. But it's real pretty now.
I'll be the hater. I'm not a Ratchet and Clank fan. I
didn't have a PS1. I was rocking a 64 back in the day, but looking at it, it always reminded me of Banjo-Kazooie.
The levels are a little bit more linear. I mean, they're still open, but they're a little bit more linear. There's a lot more weapons upgrading.
I mean, Ratchet and Clank is all about getting really weird weapons, isn't it? Isn't that their shtick?
Yeah, like the disco ball you throw out that makes all the enemies dance until they explode, and yeah, the lava shooter and shit. It's fun. I think they did this in the original. I know by 2 they were doing this, where your guns would level up the more you used them, and then you could use your bolts or whatever to buy more stuff. I was super excited when that came out, but $35 or $40 was too much for me, so I'm stoked for that. And then just a public service announcement: PS3 and Vita games will no longer be part of PS Plus as of March 8th, 2019. So, unsubscribe now.
Strange.
Yeah. Well, for people who buy a year, they want to give them fair warning that, like, if you're buying these for PS3, don't renew in June, because...
Well, I get the warning. What's strange is that they're dropping PS3 games.
What else are they going to put out?
I guess. I mean, have they already released most of the catalog?
I mean, it's 2 games a month. They've been doing this for, 5 years now?
Yeah.
I'm sure they have stuff worth it left in the catalog, but at the same time, like, I mean, how many people are still rocking a primary PS3, and Sony is showing no signs of a willingness to make any sort of emulator for it for the PS4, so you can play backwards compatibility stuff. You know?
Well, that's the problem.
I own a PS4 and I don't actually know this. Is there no backwards compatibility?
There ain't shit.
Nothing?
They haven't done backwards compatibility since the launch PS3.
They don't even have fucking backwards compatibility for the PS1 on the PS4, which would be super easy to do.
Yeah, okay. They have done 0 backwards compatibility since the first model of the PS3. Because the one I have won't play PS2 games, even discs. So.
I will say that was one cool thing about the Wii is it was backwards compatible fully with the GameCube.
Well,
you could play those gay little discs.
It's one thing Xbox One's got going for it over PS4 right now is you can play. Well, they've been adding 360 games to the backwards compatibility list, and I believe they're actually doing the original Xbox games too at this point.
They remastered Ninja Gaiden. The first Ninja Gaiden. I have the disc. I pulled out the Xbox disc and put it in. There's like a 16 gig download, and man, that shit looks pretty.
Really?
The original Xbox game looks fucking pretty.
I would think it'd be all pixelated and terrible.
They remade
that. 16 gigs was.
They remade that Ninja Gaiden several times. I mean, because I got it on PS3, and I mean, well,
that was Ninja Gaiden Sigma, but they've I took my original 2001 whatever disc, put it in the Xbox One, and just started playing this gorgeous original game. Oh, it was cool. Anyway. There's your PS Plus warnings. Randy, you want to tell us what's coming out in the next couple of weeks?
Sure. Let's see. Games, Xbox One and PS4. We got Burnout Paradise Remastered, another remaster. 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 Any
Hooray.
of you fans Burnout Paradise? Anyone care?
I'd like to take down. I have Paradise. I kind of don't love the open world stuff, but everyone else in the world seems to like that.
Everyone really
It's
likes
tough.
this game. I've never played a Burnout. I'm tempted, but I'm really enjoying not really buying most new games this year, so I may continue that streak.
Or even remasters?
Well, put
racing
Paradise
games are mostly,
in your Steam wish list, and then when it goes on sale for $350 or whatever this summer, just
mean-
pick it up there.
You mean my Origin wish list?
Yes, sorry.
Honestly,
No, they do Need for Speed, man.
I thought they did Burnout too.
You know what? They might. Well, I don't think so because as an EA Origins Access member, I can go through the vault and check the games, and I don't think I saw.
So I typed in EA Burnout Paradise and immediately took me to an ea.com/game/burnout/burnout paradise. So
No shit. Okay. Well, maybe it's just not on Access then. So,
pretty
okay, there you
sure
go.
I'm pretty sure actually Slug gave me a code for it on Origin a long time ago, and I just never got around to playing it. So
What's Burnout? What's the Burnout series gimmick?
crash into shit.
Okay, cool.
Wrecking people in slow mo.
Okay, I remember those. I haven't played any of them myself, but we used to watch a guy play them on the dorms all the time. Okay, movies, March 16th. We got The Tomb Raider.
That
We
actually
care
looks
about
kind of
this?
good.
Just a complete reboot, right? I mean, it's not Angelina.
Right. They're doing
It's
it.
following the reboot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope there's less rape implied in the movie than there was in the game.
I don't know. It looks like she's
Oh, I see
fucking
what you
up
mean.
some dudes in that trailer. So
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pass on that.
I don't know if I'm theater interested, but I'm definitely interested.
I guess that's. I haven't been paying attention. I guess that's the only really big movie coming out anytime soon, or in the next 2
Kinda.
weeks, I guess. TV, nothing. I'm waiting for that Better Call Saul announcement.
I'm waiting for Legion 2 and Westworld 2 and those things.
Okay. Streaming. Yes. Voltron, Legendary Defender on Netflix.
Woo!
I'm sure, yeah.
So this will be out by the time the cast goes up. John, have they just given up on
That's
assigning season numbers to this series?
I hope so, because it pisses me off more when they're like, here's season 5 and it's 6 episodes. Like, I'd be a lot less pissed off if they just said, new episodes.
Okay.
Come and watch them. March 8th, which is next week, got Jessica Jones season 2.
Not getting great reviews so far.
Well, I did not watch
But
the
I,
first season of that, but is anyone surprised?
the first season. Well, here's the thing. Again, and I'm gonna harp on this shit until I die. Netflix's Marvel series are graded by how good their villains are, and villain in the first season of Jessica Jones was fucking rad. I don't even know who the villain in this is. So
Well, it's not out yet.
I haven't
Right,
kept
but
track of it all, but I'm completely... Like, nothing would have saved Iron Fist. A good villain would not have saved Iron Fist. Like, I have lost all faith in Netflix Marvel. I will watch this when it comes out, but, like, I used to take off the day and fucking binge watch it. I'm not doing that shit anymore.
You don't even like Daredevil?
Well, yeah, Daredevil Season 1 was great. Jessica Jones Season 1 was great. Daredevil Season 2 was pretty good.
it was half good.
And Luke Cage was half really good. And Iron Fist was terrible. And Defenders was meh.
It was fine.
Like I've
All right.
and I guess Punisher was good. But it's enough to have made me lose a lot of faith in their ability. And like it doesn't
not
help
all-
that like Jeff Loeb is the person in charge of their TV stuff because I have no faith in that guy. I think
When does their contract run out? Because they got to be coming up on the end of this
Yeah.
Disney thing, right?
I don't know.
Like they're not going to be making season 5 of Daredevil, right? Like at what point does this expire and Disney goes, "Yeah, we're going to take our shit back, please."
I don't know. And what happens to these shows after Disney walks out of that deal? Like, do they just permanently go into limbo?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're definitely more Netflix than they are Marvel.
Yeah,
But-
like part of me wants to go buy like some of the DVD or the Blu-ray sets, just because I'm paranoid about that. But at the same time, it's
Did
like,
they actually like take them down?
well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, will Netflix be able to continue carrying them, and will Disney let them? Like, I
Oh,
mean,
he-
you
and you
would think Disney would want them to continue though, to a degree, right? Because
But
you
Disney,
can.
I mean,
Disney
for
does the
a
same
fee,
shit
probably.
with their movies though, where it'll be like Sleeping Beauty, 25th billionth anniversary edition. You can buy it for 2 weeks, and then we're putting it back in the vault. So like, yeah, I can sympathize with the idea of buying it now in case they go away, because who knows if those DVDs are still going to be around.
Yeah.
They like to create scarcity. Okay, March 9th, Sneaky Pete, Season 2, coming out.
Watch that shit.
Watch that shit. Watch Season
my
1
answer.
first, though.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, guys, that's our show. You can visit the website at thecarouselpodcast.com. Send us emails at carouselpodcast@gmail.com. Join the Facebook group. Join the Discord. Check the Twitter for a Discord link. The Twitter handle is Carousel Podcast. You can buy my music at MusiM.bandcamp.com, also on iTunes and Spotify. Real
Just
quick,
listening to it at work this week.
do what?
I was just listening to it at work this week. That shit holds up.
Sweet. That's what I like to hear.
Shit.
Real quick, my wife started a new YouTube channel called Dances with Doggos that is all about her dogs. So if you like dogs, you should go subscribe. And we'd enjoy you guys telling us our dogs are cute too.
So is it just the dogs, or is she going to be dancing with the dogs?
It's so far there's been no dancing in the video that she posted. So
What a misleading...
Well, Kevin Costner wasn't literally dancing with wolves.
thumbs down, unsubscribed. Anyway,
Actually, I've never seen
I'm going
that
to
movie.
subscribe to
He
her just so I can unsubscribe.
Just watch, go into the
Fucking A.
metrics and just see the spike go up and go right back down. Like, oh,
fucking A, people. Anyway, Randy, where can we find you?
Gifts of Men on the PSN, OSU Cobra on Twitter.
Okay. And thanks, everyone. Thank you both for joining us, and we'll see everyone next turn.
hi guys,
You can't find Jake anywhere. He's a Confederate ghost.
you can find me here.
I'm always torn between like insulting Jake and just not saying anything, and
I have deliberately scrubbed myself everywhere but here.
yeah,
You can find him. It's jake.z at dailystormer.com.
we already said bye.
Fuck you.
I'm cutting this part out.
Goodbye.
Later.
Titles.
Yes. Let me pull these up. Was the Daily Stormer line below the belt, Jake? Let's see. Ooh, he's gone.
It wasn't below the belt. It was above the hat, the pointy hat, the white pointy hat. I'm sorry.
Ringo, are you here listening to titles?
I'm listening. Hello?
Oh, we need Jake's input too. Where'd he go?
He's here.
I'm here, man.
Oh,
Go.
okay. Sorry. All right, go. I really don't like aliens. Surviving and leveling up.
Nope, that
Whoa.
was the show you weren't on.
February 15. I scrolled up too far. Okay. Sorry. No time to read. Who the fuck are all these people? Mechs on fire. The World's Health Bar. Kaiju Tactics. I'd better just quit. Don't do this to me, brain. Let's see. Slack sliding. Okay, COD. Come to Tulsa and eat it. Okay.
Nope. Big fucking nope.
Uh,
I don't care how much you guys laugh. I'm not typing it.
it's
That's the best
Can't even
one.
pick the next two. It's free. It's free to jump off my roof and watch that shit.
I can get you a picture of Kilkenny's.
Yeah, I bet you could. I think it's Kaiju Tactics. It's free to jump off my roof is good, but it's a little long. I think it's Kaiju Tactics, No Time to Read, or I Better Just Quit.
I was a fan of I'd Better Just Quit. I meant to put an apostrophe D in there.
I like Kaiju Tactics, and I better just quit.
I think it's I Better Just Quit then.
Yeah, that's probably the better of the two. All
Okay.
right.
I
You
better
guys
just
should probably just
see if
quit.
you can find like an image of somebody flipping a table or like putting
I
his
don't-
fist through his monitor.
You think there's one of those on the internet?
Might be.
Somebody flipping a table? That's
Well,
really specific, Randy.
Thanks everyone for joining us live in the chat.
Bye, guys.
Bye.